Alrighty. Just want to make sure we get everybody coming in. Wow. Look at that. What a turnout. Hello, my friends, and welcome to, I was just saying to our artists here, welcome to the best Zoom room on planet Earth, in the universe, at this time. It's really great to have you all here. I'm freezing. I'm going to let myself unfreeze for a second. Okay, here we go. So yeah, my name's Tony, and I'm one of the organisers of Guitar Dreams. Some of you might know me from the YouTube channel Guitar Made Easy. Most of you won't, but that's alright, because we're not here to talk about guitar tutorials today. We're here to talk about something much, much cooler. The Guitar Dreams Retreat. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the retreat, and then we're going to invite our artists on, and they're going to tell you exactly what to expect at Guitar Dreams 2026. Alright? So, Guitar Dreams, we started this idea, we created this idea only a year ago. Me and my good friend, partner in crime, Andy McLaughlin, we had this crazy idea to make the best guitar event in the world. Sounds very Tenacious D when you put it like that, right? But that was our idea, was to create the best guitar event in the world. And what we mean by that is, of course, there's amazing guitar retreats and guitar camps that happen right now, but we wanted to create something quite different. You know, with standard guitar camps, you've got hundreds of people. You know, it's very conference-based. You've got free-for-all open mics, people of all different levels, and it gets quite overwhelming. What we wanted to do was create an event where we could invite the best guitarists in the world to come and teach, but have it to a very small audience so that we could keep it intimate, and so that you don't only learn from your guitar heroes, you get to hang out with them. You get to drink whiskey with them, right? You get to have jams to the wee hours of the morning with them. You get to go out in a boat in Loch Lomond and have an amazing experience together. And you get to do this all in an amazing setting. One of the most beautiful locations in the world, and one of the best hotels in the world. And combine it with luxury, with great food, with great experiences. And what it turns into is an experience and a memory, something that you cherish for the rest of your lives. So this is all focused on connection, on building meaningful moments that you'll carry with you forever. That's what Guitar Dreams is all about. That you wake up, you go to whatever it is, what masterclass you're going to, and you think to yourself, this must be a dream. This must be a dream, because this does not happen in waking reality. And that's what happened to Guitar Dreams 2025. So let me tell you a little bit about that before we move on. So Guitar Dreams 2025, we knew we had accomplished our mission right away. Everybody was turning up, and Robin Ford goes behind the bar and starts serving people drinks. Alright? That was the very first night, and that set the tone for the whole retreat. And then we've got Robin Ford and Larry Carlton, two icons in electric guitar. And we get to bear witness to these two legends playing together, probably for the last time. You know, there's only a handful of us there, and we get to witness this amazing event. So you feel privileged, and you feel special for being able to witness these moments with these legends in guitar. Then we had Earl Slick, who is just the epitome of what a rock star is meant to be. You know, he comes in with a hat. Sorry, we've got more people waiting in. Okay. Sorry, I've got more guys coming in the waiting room. Alright, so he comes in with his hat, he's got 5 scarves, he's got sunglasses on. I'm pretty sure the guy went to bed with that. And, you know, he's coming in and he's telling you stories about the first time he met David Bowie with no eyebrows. I was sitting next to him dinner one night, and he's telling me all his antics with the Rolling Stones and Keith Richards, stories that I definitely can't repeat. And that sums it up. You know, you're having all these connections, these conversations with people you've followed for years, and you're getting to hang out with them. And that's what Guitar Dreams is all about. And of course, the workshops and masterclasses are amazing. They're epic. But the cool thing about Guitar Dreams, and I think most people who came will say this, it's the hang. All right, it's the bar jams, everything that happens between the classes. And we have the usual suspects coming back. We get Guthrie Trapp, Robbie McIntosh, and John Goldie, who were, and I can totally vouch for this, to 4 a.m. every single morning, jamming with guests, having fun with guests, telling stories, just having a good time. Not because it's work, but because they're also having a blast. They're also having an amazing time and sharing an experience with like-minded souls who have the same passion, guitar. All right? So that's what this is all about. So that brings us to Guitar 2026. Now, we're nearly sold out already for Guitar 2026. We've sold 40 out of 50 tickets. So there are 10 tickets remaining. And if you want to be one of them, if you like what you see in this webinar and you get excited, then I will be putting the application out to everybody. I'll be putting it in the comments. So make sure you stick around at the end and grab one of those applications if you want to come. But we've got we've got a crazier lineup this year, I think. We're taking everything we did in 2025 and we're elevating it even more. We're taking all that magic and we're doing it again, and we're trying to do it even better. So we've got the likes of Eric Johnson, Mike and Lenny Stern. We've got Guthrie Trapp, Greg Koch, Tom Bukovac, John Goldie, Robbie McIntosh are coming back for more. We've got Brett Papa, Mary Spender. I'm pretty sure I've missed somebody, but I'm sorry. But yeah, we've got a great lineup coming back for next year. And we've got a lot of these guys on the call today. I realise I'm freezing, so I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so basically for this call, I'm going to go through the artists and we're going to hear about what you can expect in Guitar Dreams 2026 next August. We're going to hear from our other organiser, Andy McLaughlin. He's going to tell you about the itinerary and what to expect on a daily basis. We're going to look at our community, right? This is something I'm very excited about, something we didn't have last year. And that's the Guitar Dreams community. It's a platform where you get to hang out with guests before the event. So you get to know each other and you get to upload videos and, you know, post pictures of your babies, i.e. guitars. And yeah, so it means you can bond with each other before you actually get to the event. And we have guitar friend Tim, who's going to be our moderator of the community. If you don't know who Guitar Friend Tim is, he's smashing it on YouTube and Facebook right now. He's been commended by John Mayer. He's worked with Jason Mraz. I can see him blushing right now. And and he's going to be setting challenges every month, all right? So even if you don't know some of the artists who are going to be there, you will by the time we get to the event, because he's going to be giving you lick challenges, guitar challenges, so you really get to get comfortable with the artist's music before we get to the event, which I think is really cool. It's an excellent way to prepare and practice for the retreat. And then we're going to open it up for a small Q&A at the end. So you guys get to ask me, or you get to ask much cooler guys than me, any questions about Guitar Dreams. About Guitar Dreams, so that means we're not asking questions about guitar gauge, strings, picks, or modes. All right? Strictly Guitar Dreams. Anyways, less of me. We're going to bring on our very first guests. I'm honoured to bring on Mike and Lenny Stern. How you guys doing? I'm going to get you guys to unmute.
Cool. We good?
Yeah, welcome guys.
Hi.
Hello. So I'll start with you, Mike. I was very excited that you were so quick to say yes to Guitar Dreams. What was it that excited you so much about coming to the event?
The whole thing just sounds great to me. Just the all the people you mentioned that are going to be there. I'm going to take a bunch of lessons myself with all these amazing guitar players that are going to be there, and it'll be great to play with Eric Johnson again. We've done some recording and together. We did a record, and my wife and I are on that record. She was playing some African instrument that she also plays. She'll probably bring that also to the camp. But it just and also the fact that it's not a huge. I mean, I like a lot of these things, different ones, and I've done some. And but the smaller is the better, I think. So you can really get to know people. We're into just teaching or just playing all the time. So that's what we're going to be doing, and we'll probably get a chance to play with most of the if it's only around 50 people, we'll be playing with most of the students, or whoever.
Oh, sorry, you've muted again. Unmute you. Sorry, Mike. I think you've muted again. I'll ask you. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to do this again. Okay, there we go. Can you unmute again?
Yes.
Sorry there.
And
Please
what happened?
continue. I don't know. Zoom. I'm going to blame Zoom.
I'm just saying the most brilliant stuff I've ever said in my life. And you so, no, I'm just glad that I was saying that, the fact that so many great guitar players involved, it got me real excited to join up. And also that Eric Johnson's going to be there so we can play some because we haven't played since that we did a tour some years ago, about 10 years ago, maybe a little less. And did a record together. And then just the fact that it's only 50 people at the camp, so plus the teachers, I guess, and that's going to be fun because we like to play all the time. So we'll probably get a chance to play with each and every one of whoever's going to be there. So I'm real happy about that.
So that's amazing. So can we expect you guys to get involved in some of the bar jams at night?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
We're not when our drinking days are over. We did that quite a bit and years gone by, and we're still here. So but we'll have a warm milk at the bar or whatever, something Coca-Cola with extra ice, and yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun. We'll play whenever, whatever situations.
Amazing. Awesome. I'm gonna make you spotlight again. Again, I'm trying to work out this whole Zoom thing.
Yeah.
There's so many people going on.
I see.
Also, right. So, Lenny, can I go to you then? So, what was it that excited you about coming to Guitar Dreams when you heard about it?
I just love that we have a club where we get to talk about just guitars and everything that's involved in all these meetings. There's so much to learn about how other people view the same instrument, different styles of guitars. Like I asked you a question before about the slide guitar players and every aspect of what we do. And it's usually just like it's just a good hang to just get around other guitar players, and you learn so much from people that do the same thing than you do. I guess that is the purpose of a club, is that you exchange ideas and concepts, and um, we're guitar players are kind of cool people, so I like to hang out.
They are that. I like to think so anyway. Um, so what can we expect? You guys are doing a masterclass together, which I'm really excited about. I mean, that's going to be very special and unique. So what can we expect from a masterclass from both of you? What can guests expect to come away with, you think?
We'll probably play a couple standard jazz tunes and maybe some other original or something like that, and mainly, ask whoever wants, whoever's got any questions, keep it very loose. That's how we usually do whenever we do master classes or just any kind of classes. We keep it loose and open, so nobody feels inhibited. Everybody's comfortable.
I'm probably gonna bring in some African styles of guitar playing because I played in Salif Keita's band after I played the festival in the desert near Timbuktu, and I got to. We were three guitar players in his band, so the other two were African. One from Mali and the other one from Burkina Faso. And so I got to learn all different styles of African guitar players while we were waiting around for His Royal Highness Saif Keita to come and sing for us. So it was just like a great guitar hang. And I've learned to use those things in our music. And I also learned how to play this like instrument. It's like called ngoni. It's a lute. And I play that in Michael's band too. It's a little bit different sounding, but it's basically, a guitar. You fret and you pick with one hand. So a lot of other instruments from Africa, like the kora, both hands, like the left hand has to play the bass line. My left hand cannot do that. And so I figured I took the instrument that's closer to what we do. And I studied with Basiku Kuyate, who's a master of that instrument in Africa.
Amazing. I am so excited already. These bar jams are going to be off the scale this time for sure. But listen, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for being on the call, and I really can't wait to see you guys in Scotland next year.
Yeah, we can't wait. We can't wait. It's going to be great.
Amazing.
And it's so cool.
Yay. Awesome. Guitar Dreams, guys. All right, now next up, we're going to bring on one of our other guests, one of our other artists. He was here this year. He was instrumental in making the whole thing work. Was a huge part of it. And he's coming back as part of the team next year. Of course, it's Guthrie Trapp. And Guthrie is now, I believe we're calling you a creative consultant now, Guthrie.
My mom's going to be so proud to hear that.
Brilliant. So maybe if you could tell us, Guthrie, what you loved about Guitar Dreams this year. What was it that made you want to come back again?
Well, I always say, first and foremost, if you want to get a musician to leave his house, give him a great destination to go to. And so if it was the Knitting Festival in Toledo, Ohio, I probably wouldn't be as excited to come back
I like that one.
to this event. But I love having some Scottish and Irish and English blood, as many of us probably do over here in the good old USA. It feels like home. I love going over there. I love the UK and Ireland, and I've spent some significant amount of time in those countries. And I love the music. I love the people. I love the history. I love the whole thing that encompasses it. And man, to be brutally honest, these days when I see names like Larry Carlton and Robin Ford, and now I'm more familiar with John Goldie and Robbie McIntosh. When you see names like that at events, there's not a lot of questions I need to ask at that point, because I know that those guys aren't going to be in. I know Robin, he used to live in my neighborhood. He's a no bullshit guy, and so they're not going to be involved in things like this if it's not something worthy of doing. There's been other things like that where I've seen guys and I go, hey, I don't really need to ask any questions. If that guy's doing it, I got maybe a couple questions to ask, but other than that, we're good. And so I knew the thing in Scotland was going to be cool after talking to Tony and his crew over there, Andrew and everybody. I could just tell they're good guys. They're very easy to work with. They're super professional. We just knew from the beginning that it was going to be a good thing. You can just tell, these days, we've all been doing this for so long. You can tell right off the bat when something's going to be a pain in the ass that you might want to bow out of, or if something's going to be worthy of going and doing. And this was one of those things right off the bat. And I can say after going over there, this year, uh, all the boxes were checked. They took great care of us as far as all of our travel and accommodations as artists. That carries a lot of weight with us. I mean, everything was very comfortable. The food was great. And the other thing about this thing that I'll say that I was very pleased with personally was, it was dialed in and everything was organized and very comfortable, like I said. But it was also relaxed and loose. These guys aren't uptight; they go with the flow. It's a beautiful space. It's a beautiful place. You get up in the morning, you take walks along the lake. There's a castle across the lake. You're on a beautiful boat with an amazing skipper. I can't remember his name, but I hope we have him again. He was awesome. And you're doing a whiskey tasting and getting a history lesson going up the lock. And so, I mean, I love that kind of stuff. And so it's less about, for me, it's less about put your finger on the fourth fret of the G string. And it's more about let's get into, like, for me, it's let's get back to the reason we're all doing this in the first place. It's about making music. Let's make some music. Let's hang together. Let's make some new friends. It's not about us going over there and making everybody feel insignificant on the guitar, because as soon as I start asking you questions about your careers, I'm going to feel like a beginner. And so we all have our place. And so for us, it's about sharing what we've learned up to this point, help you out. Maybe you leave a better musician, but I guarantee you when we leave this thing, there's some of us on this call right now that are going to stay connected and stay friends. And to me, that's the capstone of the whole thing.
That's cool. That's great.
That is very cool. That's an amazing point, because we do make all these connections when we're there. We make friends. A lot of us from this year, we still hang out. We still talk. We're all in a WhatsApp group. But you were like famous for being in the bar to 4 a.m. every morning, Guthrie. I think
I've been famous for that for a long time.
So what do you think is the benefit, and rather than coming and learning a masterclass or a workshop, to being able to hang out with you guys in the bar to 4 a.m.?
Yeah, well, the other thing that's cool about this is it's all inclusive, and it is in a little bit of a remote area. So everybody's there. You're getting a lot of FaceTime with everybody. You're getting to know people. You are hanging out. You're sitting with the people that in Nashville we call it finding your tribe. You find your tribe. There's going to be groups of people that gravitate towards each other, and they're going to hang out at breakfast, and they might hang throughout the event. And so I had a point there and I just completely lost it. What was the question?
Bar jams, how good are they?
Oh yeah, no wonder I forgot about it. Yeah, but those are you're all it's all inclusive. So people aren't wandering in and out. It's not like it's in New York City and people are out wandering around half the day and then they come back and it's all kind of scattered and fragmented. You're kind of locked into this spot, and so I think that kind of keeps it cohesive. You're able to get some time, if you want to, have a conversation with Eric Johnson in the hallway while he's on the way to, watch a movie or something. Yeah, you're going to be able to do that. So I think for a lot of these guys that are participants, it comes down to, the access that they're going to be able to have hanging and talking and actually, not just passing by and going, hey man, can I get a photo with you? And then you shake hands and go, hey, I saw you in Cleveland 15 years ago. Oh, cool, man. Okay, see you. And that's it. That's your one encounter. This is a chance to hang with these guys and really get to know who they are as human beings for, 4 or 5 days straight. And for me, it was really great reconnecting with Larry Carlton because he's been in Nashville area for a long time. And I've crossed paths with him a handful of times, but never really got to hang and have a good, eye to eye and, put my arm around the guy and be able to have a little moment with Larry Carlton. So I'm a participant in this thing as much as I am, and a student as much as I am being involved on any level at this thing. And so, I kind of come in and teach you my very uneducated way of navigating through some music that I like and have learned a little bit from in my lifetime. And so it's as Brett Papa knows well. By the way, I'm excited because like 6 of my best friends on the planet are coming over there, this coming year. Tom Bukovac, who's going to blow your mind. Brett Papa, one of the greatest people on the planet, and our impresario here in Nashville for all the education stuff now at this point. And Greg Koch is just a fucking monster musician and unbelievable energy. Robbie McIntosh and John Goldie, two of my new favorite people and favorite guitar players. I mean, I'm sure I'm leaving some people out too, but man, these are the things that they're very fun. And to be able to show up and drop your suitcase and not have to go anywhere, there's a level of comfort and peace in that too. And just know that, hey man, we're exactly where we're supposed to be for the next 5 days. Let's jump in, you know?
Well, cool.
That's exactly it. And, you know, we talked a lot about, I mean, one of the coolest things about next year is your trio, the guys that you do your, you know, your music with are coming. You know, we've got Jordan Perelson and Tim Marks, which is huge. And you're going to be, this year, one of people's biggest, well, the feedback that we got was people wanted to play guitar more. We had one open mic one night, and it wasn't enough, you know. So this time we have an open mic every night, and Guthrie's taking charge, and we're calling it the Capstone Performance, and that's going to be a much more organised event. So you can tell us just a little bit about that, Guthrie, before we go.
Yeah, and I think we're still working on some of the details with that, but I think the overall idea is to have some sort of a song list that people can choose from, and then the rhythm section will learn those songs, and then throughout that week, leading up to this performance, we can work on those songs together, you know, and have something to actually work towards. So it's not just, you know, or not just the workshops, but we've got something to where, you know, you guys can have a nice platform to use some of these things you're going to be learning all week, you know. So to pick some songs and like I said, have a chord progression or something that you're familiar with to be able to actually use some of the tools that you're going to learn from all these different people. And it's not just the notes you're playing. I mean, focusing on things like, getting a good tone, your volume, playing with other people. That's where Tim and Jordan are going to come in great to be able to talk to them and like, hey, how does the bass player and drummer work in a trio situation or a band situation? Dynamics, volume, tones, you know, playing, you know, dynamics with your right and left hand, playing too hard, you know, just all the things that go into what we're really using on a daily basis, that things we might not think about all the time, but things that we're all seeing in students all the time, you know, the need for fundamentals and listening and all the things that make music happen, not just getting distracted by, you know, pedals and gear and all that kind of shit. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. But yeah, to have a capstone at the end of this thing where it gives you something to work towards, you know, a chord progression that you can become familiar with and see it coming and be able to actually, you know, maybe play something different that you hadn't played before, you know.
Yeah, and I think that this is huge, and I think if people can grasp exactly how amazing this is, that you get to be up there with, you know, the best in the business, the guys coming from Nashville, to not have a free-for-all open mic, you know, which can be very overwhelming, you know, for people just coming up to the retreat, but you know well in advance what you're going to work towards. You get to practice that, and then you get to have your moment up there, maybe you and one other participant, where you are up there having your moment. That, and again, it's all about moments and experiences here, but this is something that people will remember and take away with them for the rest of their lives, man. So
yeah, and the only other thing I want to add to that is yeah, these rhythm section guys are amazing, and the thing about that I just want to add to you guys so you don't get spooked is when you hear the word Nashville, don't think country music. Just because I have cow horns up here in my house. No, but don't get freaked out by the word Nashville. That doesn't mean that we're going to come over there wearing cowboy hats and be playing Garth Brooks songs the whole fucking time. So just know that, you know, us coming over from Nashville, we just like to play music, and Tim and Jordan can go in a million different directions. So anything you guys want to be able to do, we got you covered.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys on this call are fans, and they're already your follower, Guthrie. So I think we all know that you're not pigeonholed
Okay.
to any genre at all. That
Okay,
you're,
good.
we all know we're all ready for you. And
Okay, good.
well, probably not, but yeah, it's going to be amazing. So thank you so
Yeah.
much again for your time, and we're going to do even better next year. I'm super happy, super
Can't
delighted to have
wait.
you on the team again, man.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, okie dokie. So, all right. So next up we have an amazing artist, somebody who you may not have heard of, you might have, you should have, because this guy has played with everybody. I'm talking about Robbie McIntosh. He's played with Paul McCartney. I came across Robbie actually looking at. I'm a big fan of John Mayer, and it was the Live in LA tour. I love that tour. I love that, and Robbie was John Mayer's sideman. So I was an absolute fanboy right away. And then I learned so much more about Robbie at the retreat as well, all the work that he did with the Pretenders. He's had such a fantastic career, and obviously all his solo stuff as well. And I'm super excited to have him back. So Robbie, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hello.
Hi, Robbie.
I'm
So
unmuted.
you're coming back for more, Robbie.
I'm coming back. I just want to see Guthrie Trapp and John Goldie again.
So what was it that made Guitar Dreams special for you this year, Robbie? What was your main takeaway from this year's retreat?
Just meeting people and hanging out and with great artists and nice people that wanted to learn. I mean, Guthrie's kind of covered it really. He it's more about a kind of attitude than notes, if you know what I mean. You can talk to people, but you can teach people technical stuff, but it's more to do with But the thing about playing with people is to be able to listen while you're playing. That's more important than what you play in a way, or it affects what you play. So. It was such a great. I was terrified actually of having to do my workshop, but it was actually good fun because people were so open and asked questions. That's the most important thing when you're doing that workshop, is that people ask you questions rather than expect you to just to kind of deliver. Bro, you can do a certain amount. I mean, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, guitar playing wise. I can't really teach anybody anything specific. I mean, apart from the fact that I play probably more slide guitar than a lot of the other guys there, that was something I could maybe home in on a little bit. It was what made me want to come back. I mean, a lot of things, just the location, the people involved, all the students, the informality of it. It was fabulous. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Amazing. And I think what we're kind of like honing in on there as well is it's not as much about play these notes and play this chord progression and do this and do that. It's about being immersed in an environment with. I'm freezing again, but you can hear me at least. Being immersed in an environment with amazing guitarists, and again, you were one of the usual suspects in the bar up to 4 a.m. So, what would you say the benefit of people getting to do that, getting to spend time with you, and just jam in that kind of informal environment compared to a formal class or a master class?
Well, I mean, you just said it really. I mean, people from different areas of different genres. You can whatever is your particular field. You can learn so much from listening to other people and other types of music. Like Lenny Stern was saying, African music. You're listening to it enough. will influence you what eventually you play, whatever genre you're in. So, I mean, you're kind of like a mincing machine, aren't you? You know, all the different music you listen to, whether it's jazz, rock, or pop, or classical music, even, or African music, or any kind of world music for that matter. It kind of goes into the machine and it kind of gets minced up. You go, oh, I like that, and I like that, and I like that, and it kind of gets minced up, and it comes out. It comes out with your personal sort of interpretation, your personal cocktail of all the music that you listen to, and that's a great thing. I mean, one of the problems with music these days is with the way music is marketed and genre.
Absolutely.
And you know, if you're not country, or you're not rock, or you're not heavy metal, or you're not blah blah blah, whatever, you kind of get stuck in these categories. And you know, a lot of my favorite bands wouldn't get signed or marketed today because they're too eclectic. You know, Little Feat, one of my favourite. Who's going to sign the Beatles if you listen to When I'm 64 and Tomorrow Never Knows? I mean, it's crazy. Everything's kind of genre and related these days. And I like the eclecticism, if that's a word, in music. You know, so I don't know whether I've answered your question. I've gone right off on a tangent there. And
yeah, that was great, Robbie. No, that was awesome.
What's the question?
Yeah. I forgot. I don't even know what I asked anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all right.
That's the thing. You know, I mean, you know, the fact that we're all going, and Mike Stone's coming, Eric Johnson's coming, Guthrie, and me, and all these great players. Hopefully, it's some kind of melting pot. Do you know what I mean?
It is. You know, and
I hope so. I think. Well, it is. You know, I just. I can't emphasize that enough, really.
For sure. And I think one of the cool things this year was we got to see you collaborate with so many different individuals, and your slide guitar is amazing, and that was a real joy to witness these random jams, and you would get up on the slide guitar and jam along. Is there anybody that you're particularly looking forward to collaborating with this time round?
Oh, everybody! It'd be great to see Guthrie again. It would be great to see John again. I mean, I can learn so much from these guys, but to hang with Mike Stone and Eric Johnson, who are far away, technical wise, better than me, and Greg Koch, who I've admired for such a long time. Greg's a kind of. I think Greg's a bit of a like me, he's a bit of a jack of all trades, but he's also really funny and a great demonstrator of different styles because he's such a great orator and such a lot of fun. So it's just going to be great. I can't wait. I've only talked with Greg on a like a podcast thing that he was doing, but we've never actually met in the flesh. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Looking forward to seeing Guthrie again and meeting Mike and Eric and and seeing you again, Tony. Because you're not so bad. And seeing Andy.
Thank you for that.
And Andy's a sweetheart as well. And Andy's a good player too. You know, we're not looking on him as one of the teachers as such, but Andy really helped me out on the last one with jamming along when I was playing slide guitar and stuff. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think you made Andy's life at that point, getting him up with you. You know, that was a great moment.
I saw Andy a couple of months ago. I was playing up in Scotland a couple of months ago, and Andy came to the gig. So that was nice to see him. He's a lovely fella, and I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, well, we all can't wait to have you back, Robbie. You're a huge hit this year, and I'm sure it's going to be exactly the same next year. So thank you for your time today, and thank you for coming
That's all
back
right.
to
I'm
Scotland
sure
next
I've
year.
missed something out. Can I just mention one thing?
Of course you can.
I was in Prague playing at this little club in Prague. Got a feeling Mike's played there, Club Dupe. Steve Gadd was there a couple of weeks ago with Will Lee, and but I got to play with one of the mothers of invention.
Wow.
Don Preston was there, who was the keyboard player with the mothers up until about early 70s time, and he's 93. So I'm a huge Zappa Mothers fan. So I got to play with one of the Mothers invention, which there's not many of them left. But that was pretty cool.
Yes,
93 years old, Don Preston.
wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing,
really,
man. Living life, Robbie.
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Tony, I'll let you get on to your next person. Whatever the word
All
is.
righty. But that's thank you so much again, Robbie. That was amazing. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in August next year.
Get back to my baby chips.
Get back to your crisps. All right, my friend. See you soon.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, that was great, Robbie McIntosh, and we're getting another legend on next. Someone who I'm super excited to welcome to Guitar Dreams for the very first time. Somebody who I've followed online for a long time. Not only is he an amazing guitarist who's been everywhere and played with everyone, but he's also hilarious. Greg Koch, I'll ask you to unmute. There you go. Nice to meet you, Greg.
Happening?
Awesome. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for saying yes and coming to Scotland next year.
Well, it was a real hard choice.
Well, what was it that attracted you to Guitar Dreams then?
Well, all across the board. First of all, my day is going great. I had positive reinforcement from Guthrie Trapp and from Robbie McIntosh, so I can tell everybody around me for the rest of the day to get fucked. And it's going to be awesome. But first of all, I saw the crew from last year, and I thought, wow, this sounds like a magnificent event. And of course, anytime I get to hang out with my buddy Guthrie Trapp, we always have a good old time. Do we not, G-Man? We have a good old time at all times. Yes. Robbie McIntosh, I've been a fan since that first Pretenders record. I just, to be able to hang out with him is going to be awesome. But I got to say, I have never hung with Mike Stern. He's one of my all-time favorites. I'm going to be fangirling out big time. Mike, I love you. Lenny, I love you too. But Mike, I love you. Sorry, that was kind of weird. But listen, Eric Johnson's an old buddy. I can't wait to hang out with all, and of course, everybody else on board. I'm looking forward to hanging out with. Scotland, it's a beautiful place. Obviously, to everything that Guthrie described to me sounds magnificent. The fact that I get to bring my lovely wife, I get to go to all these exotic ports of call. She stays at home and she says, I don't want to hear about another one of these places. And now I can bring her along. And so that's going to be magnificent. But I love these camps. I love, playing guitar is my favorite thing to do, with my clothes on. And so I'm looking forward to being able to go over and hanging out with these magnificent musicians, being able to jam, being able to hang out with all the different. I love hanging out with people from all over the place who come to these things. As Guthrie says, you make connections that last forever. And when you get and you're touring around and you go to their different areas where all these people are from, and they usually come out and you hang out and you make friends for a lifetime. So it's I'm looking forward to all of the above.
Amazing. And obviously you've done a million of these kind of events in terms of masterclasses and workshops. But what is it, if you can tell people, what is it we can expect from a Greg Koch masterclass at Guitar Dreams?
Well, they're usually pretty boring. I just kind of sit there and don't say much. But actually, usually, it depends how much I'm caffeinated. but it goes in any number of different directions. A lot of times I'll start off and I'll just ask, usually if there's any questions off the bat, and that kind of takes us off into whatever direction. But it's usually a combination of people want to know about my various different, the ways I comp and so on and so forth. Inevitably, people ask about the whole variation of how I approach, chicken picking and, playing outside, adding humor to the playing, how to be kind of yourself when you play. But literally, and I play some slide too. So I do a thing with standard tuning slide that people find interesting sometimes. And then just how I approach tone and gear, and a lot of times people ask about just maintaining how to make a career in the music industry in this day and age, and all that kind of stuff, and talking about influences. I'm a student like we all are, but I've really kind of always tried to connect the dots with all of my influences. So if I get into so and so, I was like, well, who did he listen to, or who did she listen to get this stuff? And then I do a lot of different research to try to connect the dots to figure out where all these different influences came from. And then in so doing, put it in a big old, crock of shit, really, and then serve it out in generous quantities. So it just depends on, what questions are asking, go in any number of different directions. But usually, as I said, depending on how much I'm caffeinated, which is usually a lot at all times. I don't drink anymore either, Mike. I maybe break out in handcuffs. So I no longer indulge in either the fermented beverage or the spirit, but I'm usually heavily caffeinated, so we'll have no problem filling up my quadrant with information and levity.
Yeah, well, you and Mike are going to be on the milk, I think, then to the early hours. So yeah, I guess I was going to ask who you're excited to collaborate with, but I guess we can look forward to seeing you jamming with Mike at some point. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I hope so.
Definitely.
All of the above. Everyone is my favorite. So
awesome.
And what's so great about guitar players is that everyone does stuff a little differently. No matter what your skill level is, you can learn something from just watching and hearing somebody else play, even if it's a style that has nothing to do with what you're into per se. So I love these types of events because, as I like to say, if you walk away and you can take one thing from each one of these instructors, or even one thing from some participant that might do something cool, man, you are, it's worth the money, not to mention the good times and sumptuous cuisine and exotic ports of calls.
Amazing. Yeah, and there will be lots of sumptuous cuisine. There'll be plenty of that. We've got a celebrity chef coming one night as well. He was here this year. Rohan cooks us a great 5-course tasting menu from India. I'm hungry right now, so I'm definitely thinking about that. And yeah, I cannot wait to have you there, Greg, because you're bringing so much energy and humor into the mix, and it's just going to bring things up a whole level. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you in Bonnie, Scotland next year.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, my friend. See you soon.
Got it.
All right. So I was expecting Brett Papa on here, but I don't think he's joined the call.
He's on.
He's on? All right.
On.
Where is he? I didn't even find him somewhere. Brett. Okay, I think I've got him. I think I've got you, Brett. And
hello.
Oh, there he is. You're here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Woo!
Excellent, Brett. Now, I followed you for a long time because I started learning guitar back in the day, where it was just you and Marty Schwartz, the OGs. You had the big handlebar stash at the time, So I'm so happy that you're coming to Guitar Dreams 2026. So we're getting you guys. What excited you about hearing about Guitar Dreams? What was it that made you say yes right away?
When Guthrie came back with the first, couple days he'd been back, he came back and he was just raving about how awesome of a time it was. And, I think Guthrie's wanted to do things like this for a long time too. So he was really excited that people were doing something like this, and at a very high level too. That's something that that has always been kind of fun, and that we've always talked about too, is just having something that's a nice place or a destination to do something in as well. And he just had just tons of awesome things to say about it. And so he was here one day, and we were working up some stuff for one of his new courses, and he mentioned that you wanted to talk. And when he he said that you wanted to talk, I was like, sure, I'll talk. And then when, getting invited, I still to this day, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to show people or whatever, but I'm just super honored to be a part of it and being able to come over. And, like Guthrie was saying too, I'm friends with so many people that are there already. Greg's coming in to do a course on Monday. And so like all the people that are there, I'm already really good friends with. And it was just, I'm super excited. I mean, obviously, and all the other great players there too. And one of the things that people keep getting back to as well that I think is really important is you may never be able to do a fifth or a 20th of what any of these people can do on guitar, but having done this for so long and edited a million courses, just being around people that are talking about what they do and telling you, from the places of which they were inspired and all that stuff, you can pick up so much really stuff that'll change the way you play. Like I said, even if you don't ever get to the level that these other incredible players are at, it'll change the way you play for sure. And so just the opportunity to be around a bunch of players like that, to me, is super intriguing just as a student, and having worked with a bunch of these guys in the past, and just the level is, it's like, I'm not going to miss a place where all of these people are going to be in one spot, because they're all just, every single one of them is just world-class players. And I think just as a student is what really excited me about coming over. As far as playing or teaching anybody anything, I don't know. I mean, I'm, who knows what I'll do, but I'm just happy to be, there and to experience it all as well as a student, for more than anything.
Well, I for sure respect you as a guitar player, and I think you've been quite modest about that as well. But one of the things that I love about, when I've watched you doing your courses with Guthrie and Tom, is that you ask amazing questions. It's the questions that all the students are thinking. Like, they'll play something crazy, and you'll be like, stop. What the hell did you just do there? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want to know. So that's what I would love to see at Guitar Dreams, is you really getting these guys to teach us what we want them to teach, I guess.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, like when we talk too, I mean, I love doing that. It's the thing I absolutely love most about what I do is the chance to have people like this come into my house, and really then just be able to talk to them as a student, because you watch some of these people like Guthrie or Greg, or Tom, the people that have been in my house in this crew. And it's like, you watch them play and you're just like, oh my God, it's like, wait, hold on. Like, before it gets too far, just tell me that one little thing that you were doing. Or Guthrie, how he sees the fretboard and how he can so easily, like, I've been out with Guthrie a million times, and just watching him jump into any situation and just go at a world-class level. It's like, God, where do you start? Like, where can you start to learn little things and take, one thing from Guthrie and one thing from Tom, or one thing from Greg, or, Tom was over here just the other day, and he's recording his new solo album over here, and just watching how he picks, and like the tonal difference and all just that little kind of geeky minutia stuff that all these guys totally take for granted, because it's just in their DNA at that point. Is that stuff that's really cool to be able to see. Greg too, like, man, when he was over here last time, just all the bending stuff that he was doing, it was just, I don't know, I'm just like, I just get pumped having people like that come by. And just the main thing, though, the most important thing about all of these players is they play music in a song, and all in context of a song. I mean, I keep trying to tell students, like, we all got inspired to play because the bands that we love just happen to have a good guitar player or whatever instrument, and that's my favorite thing about all these players, is they know how to play music for real when it counts. And they learn not just solos, but like making music and how chords work together and harmonies and just all that stuff that everyone in this whole crowd is just for sure expert on. It's awesome to be able to learn all that kind of stuff and just kind of soak it in when they're around,
Amazing. And you kind of answered my next question, which was, obviously you're doing courses for Greg and Guthrie and Tom, and you obviously know how beneficial it is for people you want to get this information out there because these are like amazing, a lot of them unsung heroes as well, like in the guitar world that people need to hear about. But obviously we're getting to be around them for 4 days. Basically, rather than doing a course or doing a workshop, but actually getting to be around these guys for 4 days, being around them, being immersed by that, I think that is, priceless, really.
It is. Well, and to be able to talk to them and just see the kind of the genesis in their own playing, like, what inspired them to play, who were their influences. Guthrie, on a daily basis when we hang out, will tell me about somebody I've never heard of, and then you'll listen to it like, oh my, and it just takes you into a totally different world. So I think being around all sorts of players that do jazz and, Guthrie's roots and everything else, in between, and Greg and all these people that, I don't know personally the other people going, but, obviously I've heard of them. So any of their styles to be able to like see how they, like Greg was saying, put everything together to become what they are is like invaluable information, I think, for students that just appreciate music and that also want to be inspired by something new. Greg was over and he mentioned a bunch of different people I'd never heard of, and I'm like instantly like go and check it out. I was like, oh my gosh, it's just like I think we take for granted, and we get in our own musical ruts and hanging out with a diverse crowd of people like this. It's great because it's just, you get inspired by all these other things that you've never heard, and just everybody coming together with all the different styles too. It's just, I can't wait. I mean, I'm super pumped. So.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm absolutely pumped. I cannot wait to have you there, Brett. It's going to be.
Thank you for having me.
It's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be great. The energy that you're going to bring to it.
I can't wait.
Yeah. It's going to be insane. So thank you so much again for your time today, and we'll speak soon. So thanks very much, Brett. All right, my friend. Okie dokie. All right. So next up, we've got not last but not least, John Goldie. And John has been a friend of mine for a long time. We've done quite a few retreats together, and I would. Not fall short of saying that I believe that John is one of the best acoustic guitar players on the planet, and I think that a lot of people that have seen him would say the same thing. Someone who's played with Tommy Emmanuel, George Benson, The Lot, and just a great guy, and somebody who was instrumental, pardon the pun, in this retreat in 2025 because he was constantly there, constantly in the bar, constantly helping people out, giving his time. So I'm absolutely delighted to have John back this year. So I'm going to bring John on. How are you, my friend?
Good, I think. Can you hear me?
Yep, yeah.
Oh, cool. Magic. Okay.
Alrighty. So loving the new studio, by the way. That's some very ambient lighting you've got going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So if you could tell us a little bit about what your favourite thing was about the retreat this year. What was your favourite part of it? Your favourite aspect?
Right, that's quite easy actually. The favourite part for me is the fact that everybody can sort of hang a little bit. Now obviously when you do a masterclass or workshop or something, there's a lot of people there, they ask some questions, but the really nice thing is that somebody will come up to you later on that day or maybe the following day and say, oh, can you just go over that bit? I didn't really understand it or whatever it is. And that's a really cool thing. And also I noticed that all the participants, all the people that were there, they would all get together, they would hang out together, they would swap ideas, they would also talk about, maybe what we or, Robbie or Guthrie or any of us had covered in our workshops. And I overheard them quite often saying, oh, Guthrie said that and I can do this. And on that, someone else would say, oh, yeah, I did it this way and I tried a different thing. So I think that side of it is quite unique, I think, to this particular retreat because everyone's also really different in their approach, which is great as well. So we can sort of, like I went to every workshop myself. I learned stuff from every workshop. And that's how I would learn as well. I'd go, and if I wasn't sure of something, I would go up to them and say, yeah, I didn't quite get that. I would do exactly the same myself. So I just feel as if that's there, it's on tap for everyone all the time. They can just rock up to someone and ask, and pretty much everyone's really helpful. So that's, for me, that was one of the big things. And just hanging out together generally was brilliant.
It was. And again, you're one of the culprits up to all hours in the morning jamming with people. But yeah, it was great, and I think one of the cool things, you've done a lot of master classes and workshops in your time, and you're always very practical. You put me on the spot quite a few times with some of your exercises, so right. I think that's something that people really enjoyed as well. So what can we expect from, I know I'm freezing again, but what can we expect from your masterclass next year?
Okay, so last year I was probably the only person that was slightly more specific to solo guitar stuff. So I started off doing the solo guitar stuff and just looked at a few different approaches. If you want to play solo sort of instrumental guitar, if you want to play either pop tunes or do your own songs or do arrangements of other songs or whatever. So I did a few things on that would, so say maybe 3 different approaches to playing like a pop tune or, a ballad or whatever. And then really people started asking a lot of questions, and then from that we sort of went on a few different directions. I think a few people were definitely interested in like chord voicings when you're playing rhythm guitar, etc. And I think probably because some people there had maybe seen me with playing with Martin Taylor, the English jazz guitar player. We did a lot of work together and had a band together for several years. And the sort of Django rhythm playing, I do sort of my own take on it, which was what Martin had asked me to do. So a lot of people were asking about that. And just if you're playing, say, 2 guitar players together, how you would accompany each other. So we did some stuff on walking bass lines, combining chord, walking bass line and a bit of percussion all together, and ways of building it up. So that you don't just go straight to, all guns blazing at the start. You can build up to it. So that was certainly one of the questions. There was a certain Mr. Trapp asked me about going from sort of blues feel into jazz feel, which was a really great question because it's something that I've actually been asked quite a bit before. So that was a thing that we looked at. And yeah, so that my workshop was mainly around that. But the rest of the week, I probably played mainly Telecaster as well, because my background is in sort of rock and pop originally, and then I moved to acoustic guitar a bit later on, and then over the last while, I've done mostly acoustic, mostly solo stuff. But yeah, so that's what you could expect. Pretty much a broad mix of stuff, because by the end of the week, people were asking me stuff about electric guitar playing and stuff. So I think all of us are probably open to any question about anything,
Totally, and I think that was actually quite a pleasure for you, because you are, in every masterclass and workshop you've done, you were very much, an acoustic guitar player, and that's what everybody expected and wanted of you, because that's what they come for. And you were given really the freedom now to pick up the electric guitar, which you're really just as good at on acoustics. I think I'm really excited to see you pick up the Telecaster again as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll be picking it up. Don't know what I'll do with it, but I'll definitely be picking it up, I think. No, I mean, it sounds great because, obviously, just to get the chance to sort of hang out and play with the guys that are coming next year, with Guthrie's trio and stuff, that's going to be, I think that's going to be epic, because there's so many fantastic players there. But one of the really lovely things about it is that everybody there is into music and plays music. Nobody there's like into playing 1,000 miles an hour licks. Everybody just plays great music. So that's why that works. So if it's Robbie or Guthrie or Tom or whoever, they're going to be playing great music all the time, and not like, here's a fancy lick or something. It's not really like that, which I really like, because I think sometimes the technique thing can get in the way a little bit of the fun of it. And obviously, you need technique to play certain styles, but just the whole approach, the fun element. I mean, I went to see Greg in Glasgow a while back there, and the fun element in his playing that comes across. The great guitar playing thing's there. It's the fun thing. I think people really get that, and that's it. I think we all do that to a certain extent, just in a different way, really. But yeah, for me, that's a pretty important part of the whole thing. And also, I think the people that are there, the participants there, they feel as if they can talk to us because we're having a bit of a laugh and we're having fun, and we're not being deadly serious about it, which I think is a big bonus.
Oh, for sure. I think that's like everybody there is just super approachable.
Yeah,
which is great. I think as it touches on it, it's Guitar Dreams. It's informal. It's about the hang, and everybody's there to have a good time. So. Thank you so much, John. I'm buzzing again to have you to work with you yet again. I'm sure it's going to be insane. The chaos continues.
Yes.
And thank you very much, and we'll speak soon. I know John are going to be working on a bluegrass course soon, aren't we, John? We're going to
be filming a bluegrass too.
Oh, great!
Hopefully,
two Scotsmen
who know nothing about it are going to have a go at it. Yeah, that's it.
It's going to be good fun. All right, well, I'll get back to you on that one. All right.
All right, cheers.
All right, mate. See you soon.
Okay, see you, Tony. Cheers.
See ya. All right. All right, so we've been through all of our artists now, and we will go on to the Q&A soon for anybody who's got any questions. But first, before we jump into that, I'm going to just show you guys a little bit about the community. So again, this is something that is new to this retreat, something we didn't have this year for 2025. And I'm just going to give you a little insight to what it looks like. Oh, I don't know. That's my emails. Don't look at that. All right, here we are. We are in the forum here, right? So we've got the main forum where people can, talk to each other, upload videos of yourself playing, or your, post pictures of your guitars and whatever else. But it means that you get to know each other. You get to know the guests before the event. This is where we'll host our masterclasses. So, if you come in here, you will have our masterclasses from this year. We've got Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, Earl Guthrie, Andre Christovam, Robbie, Rob Chapman, John. We've got all those masterclasses recorded, and it's just for the participants of Guitar Dreams. So you get to see all that. And, this is where guitar friend Tim, who I'd introduced a little bit earlier, will come on and teach. So I'm going to get Tim on for a second and just so you guys get an idea of what to expect, what Tim's going to do. So Tim, if you can introduce yourself for a second and just tell us what you've got planned for the community, anyone who joins Guitar Dreams.
Well, first of all, I was at year one this past spring, and turns out going to bed at 2 a.m. was a bad idea. I was trying to get up early to do the meditation the next day, which is an amazing feature they had. But I didn't know they were still going till 4 a.m. So I caught the early train, and I regret it. You guys got to be ready. Do all your sleeping before you go to Scotland, because you're not going to get much of it once you're over there. And that's a good thing. It's one of those experiences that, like, you feel completely like your battery has been used for all the right reasons, and then the jug is filled up with inspiration and stuff. That is there anyone in the chat that attended this past year? Because I feel like these kind of experiences, they last with you the entire year, and you're still processing and unpacking things, and then you have this momentum that kicks you into the next time. So there's another wave coming, and it feels like August is already kind of on the horizon and headed our way. And so I'm excited, I'm pumped, and the fact that Tony has added this feature that is no small deal, that there's going to be a community between now and then. This is one of those things where, like, if you've ever had, and this is a feeling I always had when I was taking guitar lessons, like as a teenager, every Saturday I would have a lesson with my teacher, Jimmy. And in the days in between, I knew I didn't want to let him down. I was excited, I was a little bit nervous, and all of that changed the way I played and how I thought and how I was sort of committed to how to show up, and how I wanted to show up affected everything about how I was showing up for my own practice. And so my goal is to make this community feel that way, where it's like August kind of begins now. And if you're in the group, we're going to be feeding off of each other and listening to the music of the people that you're going to be sitting at dinner at some point, next to one of these legends. And you better have something to say. I mean, you better be ready to listen and share a bit of what you've studied up on, and I'll make sure of it, or I'll at least give you the opportunity to dive into their music, learn about them, and then as we do that, we're going to learn about each other, because another new thing this year that is like off the charts is that you're going to have a chance to play with a rhythm section that I've seen them play here in Nashville, and just the thought that they would be backing up any player should get you excited and kind of nervous in a good way. And Guthrie's going to help you get your head in the game and be ready. Those things are going to be fantastic to see come together in the days leading up to it. So we're going to have chances to share our progress, what we're thinking about, our questions, and kind of air out maybe some of those kind of nervous feelings. And as you do that, we're all going to be able to visualize what we want to get out of this. So we have some things that really are meaningful for us, because once we get there, the best part, as everyone's saying, is that like the script kind of goes out the window, and that's kind of what you want. It's like a gig where you can prepare only so much, and then it's like, hey, after that first song, you're into the set list, and now you got to just be present. And so mostly what I want to do is have people get to know each other and be ready to get the most out of this amazing time, you know?
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally pumped about this. I think it's such a cool thing. Like you said, the capstone performance, the community, it just adds, this is what we mean by where we're elevating everything that we've done and learned about this year. Because there's also an element that people get before they come to an event like this, like who else is coming and how do they play, and you got all the vulnerability coming out, and you get self-conscious. You're coming in and it's like 50 other students there. This totally takes that away, and it means that you can really just be excited and look forward to the event. So I think that's massive. And I'm really excited to have you lead the way in this community and do all the challenges, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to need to pop in there myself for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get creative with it. There'll be all kinds of little, like musical assignments and things that are just a good prompt, a good reason for you to explore parts of your playing, and it'll be a good hub for all those things,
Amazing. Listen, Tim, I'm super stoked to have you on again. We will speak very soon, but yeah, thanks again for your time, and I'll see you soon in the guitar.
And lastly, I just got to say, there's a pool at the Cameron House, and there's a killer slide, and it's a good, and they let adults on it. And I tell you what, you go down that full speed once or twice, the kids get out of your way. You have it all to yourself. It's a great way to start your day or end your day. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tim. As the slide is amazing. I can't see I actually got a shot on it this year because I was running about crazy the whole time. But this time we're delegating to guys like you, so I can get a chance to get on that slide this year.
Yeah,
or sure, or next year. Also, Cameron House has got a cinema in it, which is crazy. All right, this hotel is off the charts. Anyways, Tim, I will see you soon, my friend.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Tony.
So while we're talking about the community and I'm in here, do you mind, guys, if I just share 2 clips of the retreat this year, 2 moments that we caught on camera that I think would be really interesting for you guys to see. I think you would enjoy this. Give me just 2 seconds. I need to make sure that... Okay, we're good. The noise suppression is off in Zoom. Alright, so let's get back into the community. In the main forum. And these are two moments. This right here was a bar jam that happened on one of the nights. I think this was the last night, actually. And just in the midst of this group here, we had someone called Clive Mellor, who's a world-renowned harmonica player, who's played with Oasis and other bands, and he just breaks out into this harmonica solo while we're all jamming. John Goldie's leading the jam with All Right Now, and then I'll just show you. This is one of the moments where I'm just like, I'm so happy I'm here right now, and this is crazy. So enjoy.
Where's the harmonica? Oh, yeah. Woo.
Who's
Oh,
that?
they, whoa.
Yeah, right. Like how sweet was that, right? And you can imagine we have just taken over the hotel at this point. This year round, we've actually got our own private bar. But I'm sure we'll be in all different places at one time. Okay, so one more clip to share with you guys. Now, this was something I fished out this content for a guest earlier on. What you had, this is Michael, and Michael is coming back again this year, and he, this is Robin Ford and Earl Slick, having a jam, and Robin Ford sets Earl Slick up for a solo, and Michael completely steals it. Right, Robin's face is an absolute picture, but at the end of it, he's got the respect because he actually does a good job. So just watch this and watch Robin's face. I think it's hilarious. Here we go. Errol, on you go. No. Right? So that is Guitar Dreams, right? So this guy is Robin Ford's his idol, and he got up there, balls of steel, had to admit it, with his 335 and cranked one out, and it was, that didn't sound right. You know what I mean, right? Anyways, that is a memory that will last forever with that guy, and that's why we've got the capstone performance next year, right? So everybody gets that chance to get up there and play with their hero, and that's a memory, that's something you'll cherish for the rest of your life, something that doesn't happen in waking life, something that only happens in a guitar dream. Okay, so we are nearly done, we're nearly on to the Q&A. Lastly, I want to introduce and bring on, I know everybody who's signed up for this, you've met me, but the other man behind the scenes, Andy McLaughlin, co-organizer of Guitar Dreams. He is instrumental in doing a lot of stuff that I couldn't possibly do. He is actually a real musician. I'm just an imposter. But he actually he organises the concert and all the stuff the technical stuff that I couldn't possibly do. So I'm going to get him on here, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what to expect, what we can expect on a daily basis. So I'm going to ask you to unmute, Andy, and introduce yourself. All right, my friend.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Nice. Well, there's not much left to say, but it's so nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces, and we've got a really good crowd here. I can see some people who were here before chatting away, and some guys that I know are coming for the first time, and a whole bunch of people who I don't recognise at all, which is great. As Tony said, we started this dream a year ago, and it has just grown arms and legs. And we're very proud of our first year. And as you can hear, we've really built a great little team here of people who, first and foremost, really care about this little corner of the world of really niche guitar playing. And as Tony mentioned, this new element, as Tim was telling you guys as well about the community. We're very, very proud of this idea of building a community and, really treating the members of that community well, and more importantly, have them have breakthroughs and the lead up then to the event itself takes on a new meaning when you've spent, from now until August with basically your classmates, your peers, your idols. And we hope then that Guitar Dreams 2026, when everybody arrives at this beautiful, absolute dream of a 5-star luxury estate, that you're meeting people who you've been chatting with all year, basically, in the community, and as I say, some of your idols. And, it's just incredible to think that you'll be then playing on stage with these guys and sharing beautiful memories. I don't need to repeat what anybody else has really said before, but it's truly a pleasure to be part of this, and a real dream come true. And this is a little point of interest. I think all of the artists that are here are all heroes of mine, and you have all been influential. And again, as somebody who's a bit of a jack of all trades, I'm not comparing myself in any way to the level of you guys, but it's I've picked from all of your playing over the years, but one of the ways that I got involved in, I guess, contributing to the online guitar community would be through interviews. And the first interview that I ever actually did, and I don't expect that you'll remember it, but was with Mike Stern back in 2011. I hadn't even interviewed any local guitar players, and I just shoot my shot, and Mike got back and said, call this number, and just called Mike at his house. And wow, what an incredible experience. And a bit like Greg says, I'm going to be fangirling over Mike as well. And so yeah, and this webinar I think is just an idea of some of the exclusive content that you get if you're in this community, if we can say that. We're fortunate enough, we had Greg in Glasgow for a concert and clinic just a few weeks ago, which was incredible. And we're just finalising some content from that, and that's something that again the community can get access to. And so yeah, we're really excited about the future of Guitar Dreams, and hopefully in 3 or 4 years from now we're looking at something where you guys were here, the early adopters, as it were. So maybe I could just give you guys a little quick idea of what the experience will play out like. And I'll try to get through this quickly because I realise you have questions. So day one, when you arrive at this beautiful estate, it really is magnificent. You may have seen pictures, but it's nothing like experiencing it for yourself. You're right on the banks of Loch Lomond, and it really is one of the most idyllic, scenic places on the planet. And as a Scotsman, you don't necessarily always appreciate what's right on your own doorstep, but this event and planning for 2026, I've been back and forth where you just think to yourself, this is just one of the best places on the planet. And it's kind of secluded in a sense. You don't need to go anywhere to get anything, but as Tim said in the comments, really, we did take over, and we're so fortunate that they want to have us back. So and you're walking the corridors and your idols are just floating around. It's a guitar dream, as Tony said. So first day we arrive, we are going to have a little sort of meet and greet, And then John is going to kick things off. And, you know, I always like to say, well, the secret's out, you know, but he's like our little sort of Scottish secret guitar, sort of guitar secret or whatever, because, you know, as Tony said, that, you know, John's name is, and it belongs on the list with the Tommies, and any of your other favourite guitar players. Then we're going to go straight into our evening meal, which each night we dine. Well, I think this year we're going to have our own space, but there will be different menus each night. We get to, it's not like some of these retreats or even cruises or experiences, you know, you basically eat the same food every night. Sometimes it can be like a buffet type situation, and sometimes it's nice, but you kind of get bored of it after a couple of days. I'm sure we've all had experiences like that. Well, at Guitar Dreams, we will eat like kings and queens. And then, after settling down, perhaps with a little aperitif, we have our first capstone performance. And again, this is something where you guys will jump on a call with Guthrie beforehand, and in the community there will be the selection of the songs. You'll know what to expect. And, you know, people have asked us, what is the takeaway from coming to Guitar Dreams? And it can be difficult to pick one thing that you take away from an event like this. Multiple teachers, multiple styles, everybody at different varying ability levels. Well, the fact that you will perform live with a band, and this will be recorded and something that you can really, you know, remember for the rest of your life. And I think the preparation for that and the excitement round about that, for me, is a huge takeaway for an event like this, where, as Tony said, in a more standard retreat situation of 200 people, it can feel impersonal, and, you know, this is going to give you your moment in the spotlight. Day 2, we have a little bit of a busier day. We get up early, we have breakfast together. The breakfast is incredible. I do remember that Guthrie shared a little video, an Instagram situation where he was showing people around the buffet area, and it really is one of the most magical places that I've ever eaten breakfast. Like, the food here is out of this world. So much to choose from, everything's super high quality, and again, you're having breakfast with your heroes. So after you've pinched yourself on day 2, we're jumping straight in to a workshop with Robbie, which, as Tony said, I was very, you know, amazed to be asked to do a little bit of rhythm guitar for Robbie on iconic Pretenders tracks, and so that was a pinch me moment. And, you know, it's just, Robbie's such a fun character who has such a wide range of different things that he does so well and so humbly that, you know, it's just going to be a phenomenal way for us to kick off day 2. We take a break for lunch each day, and you know, as Tony said, we now have, for the people who were there last year, we now have the biggest area in the hotel, which is exclusively for our usage. We don't have to worry about waiting in queues for different areas or so on. Everything will be laid out for us, and in an area where you're comfortable. And yeah, so because there were a couple of little things last year that, you know, we've thought of everything. We like to think we've thought of everything for this year. And again, for anybody in the chat who had queries about last year or things that they felt could be improved, we've listened to everything and we've talked about it and we've discussed with the hotel, and so yeah, so you get the lunch, everything will be nice and smooth. Day 2, we're very proud to have Mary Spender doing a songwriting workshop, because again, it's maybe something different from what you might expect from, say, Mike. And Mary was phenomenal last year. She did a performance, and this year she's doing a songwriting workshop, and she's going to be doing something else very special, which we'll come to in just a minute. Afterwards, we are going to have Greg, who is just going to be absolutely hilarious. If you've heard, you know, it's just, you could take any sound bite from Greg and it's just pure comedy. But again, as I think maybe Guthrie was maybe mentioning earlier on, the guy's just got such a wide range of things that he does that he makes feel extremely personal. And having hosted a guitar clinic with Greg just the other week, it goes down a storm, everybody loves it. And yeah, so we're super excited to have Greg, be part of the Guitar Dreams team. Then we have an evening meal, and we have our next round of capstone performances. Day 3 is breakfast again. Then it's Tom Bukovac, which I think everybody's very excited to have him. Rumour has it that he doesn't like to fly or travel for these things, and you know, as Guthrie said, he's going to be there with some of his closest friends, and you know, we feel that this Nashville contingent is just something so unique, and you know, Tony and I have been so excited that it just seems to keep growing. We're basically going to have to fly the entire landmass of Nashville over. We break for lunch, and then we've got Guthrie, and so you know, day 3 is, you know, I know Guthrie said don't look out the cowboy boots, but it feels a little bit like cowboy boots there for me. And then we've got Mike, and you know, as I said, and as Greg said, I think there'll be a lot of fangirling going on, and Mike has been such an influence to all guitar players really of any age, and I've got so many fond memories of, you know, bootleg concerts and different things that your friends would share, that you know, you could catch Mike, and also as well having Lena there as well too. It's just, you know, such a privilege. And then we break for dinner, and we have a final capstone performance, and then we're moving on to the final day. We have breakfast, and then we've got Eric Johnson doing a workshop, which again is just another pinch me moment to have Eric there. We're also excited, and you know, as you can see as we go along the week, the energy's high. You know, it's not like, you know, we've spread everything out so that everything just feels so enjoyable, fun, and you know, there's always something to look forward to. So we have an Eric Johnson workshop, and then the fun begins, or continues I should say, amplifies. We have a champagne cruise. So we're going to be on Loch Lomond on a big massive cruise boat that can fit everybody on it. It's beautiful. The Avocet it's called, and it's a relatively new boat. And last year we did a number of smaller cruises, but this year we thought, let's go big or go home. And we will have live music in the boat led by Mary Spender, featuring guests including Robbie McIntosh, who played with Mary last year. It was beautiful. And yeah, we're still ironing out the details of that, but it's going to be a very magical performance on Loch Lomond, champagne in hand, whiskies in hand, and then we come back from this experience, have our dinner, and then we have the big performance where we will have our concert with our Nashville band, backing band, with all of the artists. We're all super excited to see everybody who's going to play together, and again, we're still figuring out the kind of a set running order for that night, but be sure that it's going to be something very, very special. And you know, that part of the performance will also be open to select members of the public, so it's going to have a real concert vibe. But afterwards, those members of the public will leave, and we have a VIP after party, which is where we get to celebrate, socialise, enjoy music late into the night on our final night of Guitar Dreams. So I'm going to put it back over to Tony now. I think we're going to have some questions, but that gives you an idea of what the experience looks like, and I think everybody else has commented to the degree of the depth of the experience, the uniqueness of the experience, and just how pinch me the whole thing is. Hence the title, Guitar Dreams. Back to Tony.
Cheers, Andy. And I think, you know, just listening to that, you know, it gives me goosebumps just to think about the week that we have planned. And at every moment, just like this year, I'm frozen again, but as long as you can hear me, it's cool. It is, you're just constantly around the hotel looking around you, what's happening, and it's like, is this happening? I'm dreaming, you know, as a dream scenario. So if this is something that, if you've been listening to this and you're not already signed up, I know a lot of you on here are already coming, then I'm going to put the application form here before we go into the Q&A. All right, so you can apply. There's 10 spots left, and yeah, you'll have a call with me first, and then hopefully we'll welcome you in Scotland next year. All right, guys. So we're going to open it up for Q&A now. I'm going to remove to speaker view. Look at all your beautiful faces. All right. So, do any of you have any questions for me or for any of the artists? Just raise your hand, and I'll get you unmuted. Don't be shy. Remember, Guitar Dream stuff, not modes or. I don't know. Do we have any questions? All right. Okay, Thomas. How are you, Thomas? I still can't hear you.
Yes, no.
Oh, there we go. I've got you.
Hey, Tony, nice to see you. Appreciate everybody for sharing their insight, their wisdom, and have a deep respect for the work ethic of all the individuals here. So really feel that for all you guys. I guess my question is regarding the master classes. Is it going to be more observational? I know it's going to vary from artist to artist. Is it going to be something that's more observational, or is it going to be interactive? I know the artists did share some of their takes on it, but it's something that's been kind of perking up in my mind lately.
Yeah, I mean, from this year, everybody does teach differently, and everybody's got different styles of teaching. But it's very interactive. I'd say every single one was very interactive. So even if like Guthrie's got a set thing, all different things that he's got planned and that he teaches, but again at the same time you're taking questions from everyone. So, and I think everyone who came this year, and I think everyone who comes next year will be the same. So even if they are teaching a specific thing, there will always be the question and answer. So if you've got a particular thing that you want to learn from that artist, you're going to get to ask that. Which I think is really cool. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Thomas. I think they're still muted.
There we go. Now you unmuted me. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely did. It certainly answered my question. I guess it was, will feedback be provided during those sessions, or are we just kind of back and forth? Or is the feedback more during the bar jams, or when we break out and kind of meet up with these guys after and just kind of collaborate?
Again, it's a little bit of both, I would say. Again, there's a lot of like John Goldie, for example. He loves to teach, and you will be playing guitar during that master class, and then there will be time for feedback. But I would say that getting to be around these guys in such an informal setting. I don't know. I think John was. I've seen him many times just in a corridor, just sitting with people, going over anything that they had. So yeah, you're going to get the chance to get that feedback. When you're doing a masterclass or a workshop, you've got an hour to 2 hours with somebody, or even in a private guitar lesson. But when you get to sit across these guys with a pint and or a glass of milk, and you've got the guitars, you can get a lot more out of that. So how did you do that little or I've always had trouble with this, and then you're going to be able to get that kind of feedback that I think is much more valuable than the kind of lesson format. Not taking anything away from the masterclasses, they're great, but what I'm saying is that you get much more than you would normally get from just a masterclass. All right, Thomas? Cool. All right, we have iPhone raising their hand. I'm not sure, and it's a blank screen, so I'm not sure. I'll get you to unmute.
Hey, is this me, Tony?
That's you.
Hey, Tony, Sean Reed. I was there last year.
Sean, how are you, my friend?
Excellent, excellent. Hey, thank you guys for doing this again. I tried to get my video to work, but apparently I'm too ugly for it.
No.
No, so I have a comment, and then I have some questions. For anybody that's considering going, or anybody that's on the docket now, I would say that everybody on the panel tonight is absolutely 100% right. The master classes are great. The food is great. The location is wonderful. The amenities are fabulous. But what's really outstanding is when you're just hanging out with people. You know, at the end of the night, you're just hanging out with people, you're rubbing elbows. Let, let me take a step back. I didn't know who half of the panel was when I went. I've heard them on records and radio, uh, but looking at them, I didn't know who they were. I knew who Guthrie was because you know I was a Guthrie fan. That's why I went there. But you know, you're just at the end of the day, you're sitting on a couch with somebody playing guitar right next to you that's been on albums. They've toured the world. Like it's crazy. And then you can turn around and go to a different couch and there's a different artist that's been on albums and toured the world. And you know the hospitality and the camaraderie and everything. It's just the hangs are the best part. I know you guys said it, but really that's what I left. That's what I brought home with me is hanging out after hours and getting to meet the people that are putting the music out. And then I'm going to move on to my question. So with somebody like me, where I picked up the guitar later in life, you know, I had a lifestyle change. I became a single father, and then I picked up a guitar. And you know, if we're all going to be honest, I'm pretty shitty at it. So with these one-on-ones and these, you know, you're going to put a piece together, and you know, potentially going to be on. Well, potentially, you're forcing everybody to be on stage at some point, right? What is the skill level required to participate in this freely and honestly, I would say?
All right. Well, why don't I give this one to you, Guthrie? You know, since you're going to be leading the capstone performances, what would you say to Sean?
I was hoping you'd ask me to answer that question, because I thought of something. You know, I've done a bunch of these workshops too, and I was at one time, and and we had this similar scenario where there was a performance at the end of the 2 or 3 days, and for the most part, most people that come to workshops and take guitar lessons from a professional standpoint, they're not that good yet. Because that's why you're taking lessons. That's why you're coming to workshops. If I go take a cooking class or a golf lesson or whatever, it's because I suck at that. And so, being brutally honest. So this guy at this one workshop, this was a couple years ago, he came up to me and he goes, "Hey man, I love the guitar so much. I bought 5 guitars." He said, "I love music so much. I can't tell you," but he said, "I can't play anything." He goes, "I can barely play a couple chords." He said, "But I just love this. I love hanging out with you guys. I love music and I love guitar so much." And he said, "I want to get up on that stage and play with you." He said, but I'm just going to act like I'm playing and I want you to play all my parts." And I went, "You know what, buddy?" I said, "You got it, man." I said, "Come up there, stand next to me, put that fucking guitar on." And I said, "You move your hands like you're the baddest dude on the planet, and I'm going to make you sound like it." You know, because what else am I going to do at that point? I'm not going to say, "Oh, well, that's not going to work." You know, it's like, "Hey, man, you know, dude, I can barely play anymore myself. My finger's so messed up. Who knows what I'm going to be able to do by the time I get over there next year." But, you know, so don't think that everybody coming over to this workshop is a you know, monster guitar player. Most of these guys are, you know, some are able to play a little bit, some are pretty good, some will surprise you, and some are just trying to figure it out. And so there's the good news is there's a place there for everybody, and we're all going to make you feel extremely welcome, and we're not going to make you feel insignificant on the guitar, because half the guys there are going to make me feel extremely insignificant on the guitar. And I'm going to be asking a lot of questions if the time is right. So I'd say there's a place there for everybody. But the main thing is it's all skill levels, man. I mean, nobody's asking you to submit a video of your playing to to be able to be accepted or any of that kind of stuff. So in my opinion, that's not what this is about.
Absolutely. So yeah, you're spot on there, Guthrie. It's at the end of the day, this is all about having fun and enjoying the experience, and you'll get out of it what you put into it. And I would say for anyone who's nervous about doing the capstone performance, yeah, I'd be terrified as well, and it's. But I will say this: I've never picked up the guitar more in my life since I came back from Guitar Dreams, knowing what I'm walking into in August. Some people ask, you're there for 4 days. How much guitar can you learn in 4 days? Well, it's not just the 4 days; it's the build up to it. We've got an amazing goal to work towards. Getting up there and creating this moment in time. Where you get to stand up there with these guys, and you just need to enjoy it. But you put the practice in, and make sure you're happy with yourself when you get there. And we've got plenty of time between now and August.
Hey Tony, am I still unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay, one thing I'd like to add to that, and just kind of paint the picture really quickly of how this all works. There's so much time to hang. So, I mean, granted, there's workshops and stuff going on. Nobody's standing around scratching their head wondering what's going on, which is another thing that I really like about this. If you want to take some time to chill, you can, but there's no lack of stuff going on. You're never standing around going, well, what are we doing, guys? What's going on? No. There's not going to be that problem, which is a really good thing. Nobody, like Uncle Larry says, somebody's got to have the ball at all times. These guys have the ball. So, but if you just get done having breakfast and you see me or somebody or Robbie or John or who Brett or Tom or somebody, you can go up to them and go, "Hey man, I got a question for you." And either then or later in the afternoon or after lunch or whenever the time is right, we'll be able to go off for a minute and sit down and really explain, like, hey, to get out your phone, record some of these little exercises. I mean, that's kind of what this is about. It's not so black and white, like you can only ask somebody a question at the workshop and then you're done. Like the whole point of this is like, we're all hanging out. We're in the hallway. We're at the bar. We're having coffee at breakfast. We're out on the lawn. We're taking a walk. We're wherever you're at, you can grab somebody and go, "Hey man, I got a question for you. What are you doing on that? Like when you go to the 4-chord, is that the blah, blah, blah?" And I'll go, "Yeah, man, come grab a guitar. Come here, get your phone out. I'm going to give you a couple exercises." It's that kind of thing,
That's amazing. And I think that is the priceless part about it, Guthrie. I think it's just that I can't emphasize it enough. It's the hang. It's getting to be around these guys, and it can be like others have said, one thing, one takeaway that can change the trajectory of your playing. One aha moment can change it all. So yeah, thank you. Okay, we've got another question. We've got David. How are you doing, David? I'll need to ask you on mute. Okay, there you go. Still can't hear you for some reason. Have you got a mic plugged in or? Or check your audio. Can you say something, David? Or you? I still can't hear you. If you can maybe write it in the comments, and I'll come back to you, okay? Don, how are you, Don? Mr. Yule. I'll get you through. Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
Tony, good to see you. Hey, shout out to Greg. Good seeing you again. When you were here, you played the Saxon Pub, I don't know, earlier this year. I was out there with Dan Fort, the journalist, and we met one another. So really excited, right? And by the way, like Dan is maybe like 5'5", and Greg made him look like, he just came out from Munchkin Land or whatever. That was awesome. Not a question now. I had a question, but now it's more like a statement. I'm really glad to hear that the kind of the vibe of this event's going to go down this path, because my biggest reservation was this is going to turn into like an old wrinkled gut sausage measuring festival, right? And I just hopefully it's a trusting place where you can go and make mistakes and learn. And it sounds like it's been mapped out that way. So really good to hear from some of the other participants from last year that you felt like it was a safe place and that, hey, everybody from every level is welcome. Because I'm already seeing some of the postings on the site. I'm like, holy crap. Right. So the intimidation factor is definitely there, but I'm glad to hear that you've structured this meeting in a way that kind of minimizes that. So thanks for doing that.
Well, you're very welcome. And I think, I think you're referring to the community site. So some people are uploading videos of them playing. And yeah, it's like, it can be a bit intimidating when you see, but my, motto is if you're the best guitarist in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And we just happen to be in the best room in the world. So we're putting ourselves in very good rooms in Cameron House, so yeah, don't worry, don't have any of that fear, throw that out the window right now and just come, look forward to it. You're going to be in a good place and we're all going to have a really good time.
And just to be fair, we don't know if Guthrie's off camera playing the licks and the person's just miming based on what we learned today. So you can never know for sure. There's also a lot of AI. There's some deep fret fake going on. Yeah. Just play like you and you'll be good. I promise.
That's a good point. Nobody knows what's AI and stuff these days. Andy said last year at the meeting that everybody was going to claim that the Guitar Dreams event was just AI. It never actually happened. In fact, the first year round was very difficult to sell because we didn't have any proof of concept. We hadn't done it before. We had a crazy lineup, and was this really going to happen? And then lots of people claiming that it was a scam as well, which was something we had to overcome. But we did it, and yeah, we're here again. All right, do we have any more questions? Emily, got anything else for us? I'm going through. There's quite a few people with no cameras. Raise a hand if you've got anything to ask. Oh, James, how are you, Jim?
Hello, everyone. So I was at another event Tony did last year called Fretboard Freedom. And I would say, and I put it in the comments, playing with a band has probably been one of my dreams, and very excited, very nervous. So I will be practicing a lot this year. I'm also working with Andy. But my question is, how are you going to order the capstone, and when will this start happening so we know what our goals are as far as whether Guthrie plays for us and we jam out like we're just the biggest rock star, or we play our own?
For sure. I think we're going to be looking at early next year. We're going to start getting into that because we get 10 tickets to sell, and once we get everybody in, we're going to put people into 3 groups. And then we're going to do it like that. So once we've got the tickets sold, we're going to really we're going to focus on that, and then yeah, we want to give you guys as much time as possible to practice what you're going to do. We have already been working on the set list, the songs. So yeah, we'll keep you posted. But I would expect early next year, probably late January, early February, and we'll have something for you. All right, Jim.
All right, I look forward to meeting everybody. It's great to see you on here.
Amazing. Cool. All right. Yeah, so we have somebody else asked a question. Yeah, and Andy, you answered it. David asked, from the guy on the street that won't be able to attend the Guitar Dreams event, are you doing anything for the guys that can't attend, like download the masterclass sessions? Yes. We are going to be live streaming the classes again, so you will be able to watch them live as they happen, and they'll all be recorded as well. So there will be you will be able to get the classes afterwards. We're working on something right now, but it's quite under wraps. It's quite exciting, but everybody will be able to attend virtually, if not. And for those that can't make the full retreat as well. You know, the final day, the last hurrah, the last finale concert, where we're going to have these guys over in Scotland. You know, Eric Johnson and everybody, and Tom Bukovac and Guthrie, everybody that will be playing in the final concert, everybody who's here basically, you get a chance to come to that concert as well. So we will be opening up the doors, and we'll be sending everybody that's on this list first dibs to be able to attend that. All right, so even if you can't attend the full event, there's definitely other options. And of course, you can join the wait list for 2027 if you can't make 2026, because we will have a great lineup for 2027 also. All right, anybody else? Do we have any other questions? Is that Robert? I was wondering if any of the artists will be doing any gig shows before or after. I don't think so, because I think, you know, by the time everybody gets in, you know, the jet lag and everything, it's but who knows. But we'll definitely keep you posted if any of that happens. Price, yeah, price is a common question. So the price is always, you don't ever come onto a call with me without knowing the price. That's all revealed in the application. But the price to attend this event is £10,000. It's £2,000 to add on your partner, and that includes accommodation, it includes food, it includes the master classes, everything when you get to the hotel is all included. And again, this is pricier than you would get at standard guitar camps, but the reason for that is that it's intimate. That's the only way we can do this event. It's the only way we can keep numbers low, and so that we can provide the experience and the value that you pay for, so that you can get access to these guys like that. All right, anything else? No. Okay, nothing about modes? No? Okay. Cool. Alright guys, well listen, look, this is my sign to leave. Alright guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all the artists that joined us, took the time out, getting all you guys on a call, like at the same time is amazing. Thank you for giving your time. And yeah, and thank you for everyone else that's joined us for this, for 2 hours exactly now. It's been great to see all your faces. And again, if you want to attend Guitar Dreams, I did put a link in the comments for the application, but we will be sending an email out to everybody as well. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll see some of you very soon.
Thank you, Tony.
See you guys.